doing. Top surgery recovery. My first week, I slept on my couch. I have a recliner. I would recommend getting a husband pillow, which is one of those pillows that has the back and the arms, especially for the ride home, whether you're in the car, on a plane, whatever. Like, it will help so much. I felt nothing on the way home, and I had so many people tell me that the ride home was the worst part of the whole thing. The pain was moderate because your chest is numb and because some of your nerve endings have been separated. So now they need to heal so that you can start to feel again. I do have most of the feeling back in my chest. A little bit under my arms is a little sore, but that's just from like I'm not going past like I'm not going past my shoulders. So my elbows are completely the same height, but I'm not going further than that, and I am almost 2 weeks post-op. So that's what I've been doing. I don't lift anything over maybe 4 to 5 pounds. Um, I sleep on my back, and pretty much I've just been taking it easy. It's not like you have to go nuts. Go out and buy yourself some bendy straws so you're not picking stuff up the first day. Make sure you have some button-up shirts. Make sure to get lots of polysporin for your nipple grafts if you get the nipple grafts. Some square gauze pads just in case you run out. Tylenol, make sure you have that. You will get a painkiller, but usually you don't need that after the first 3 days. You're pretty good to go. It's just you might have some like back pain if you've been slouching a little bit because you don't want to stretch too much. But other than that, I've been pretty good. Most people do go back to work after 3 weeks if they work a desk job. I am a chef, so I'm thinking of going back to work after 4 weeks. I'm just going to see my mobility range because, to be completely honest, I'm not sitting here trying to say I'm super awesome, but at the end of the day, when I'm at work, I go nuts. Like, I do not stop. There is no weight limit for me. I lift stuff without even thinking about it. Like, so for me, it would not be a good idea to rush back. So I'm not going to. And I'm sure I don't need to answer this question because I'm sure everybody already knows, but I was asked, am I happy with my top surgery results? I am so freaking happy. Like it's amazing. I'm like, it's nerve wracking because you're so worried. Don't stretch it. Don't lose a nipple. Like, don't stretch too much because you don't want to wreck anything. But honestly, I looked in a mirror and I was on cloud nine. The first time I put a button-up shirt on, I still had the nipple sponges on, but I put a button-up shirt on and I could feel the shirt against my skin, and it was literally the best feeling ever. It was one of those moments where when you feel like you're just gonna start crying out of happiness, but you don't cry. Like, I didn't cry, but I literally thought I was gonna start bawling because that was the emotion I felt. And that's another effect of tea. You don't cry as much usually. You'll get to that point where you feel like you're gonna cry, but you're not. So that's a little tough for when you really need to cry. But at the end of the day, I've been pretty good. I'm not a big fan of crying, so I'm not sad that I can't really cry as much. So that's good. Um, do I plan on having bottom surgery? Right now, for me personally, the metoidioplasty is something that I may think about in the future, the phalloplasty, because there's so much extra that goes into it. It's not exactly where I want it to be. The fact that obviously it's going to take a long time, but if I were to get phalloplasty, I would want to be able to get phalloplasty so that it actually works pretty much like a cis man's penis. Otherwise, I really don't think that that would be for me. But metoidioplasty, I haven't canceled out, but I just had top surgery and I'm as happy as can be. So at the end of the day, I'm not really looking to do anything more surgery-wise for transition at this point in time. Maybe in 10 years, I'll see where things are, see where my money is, but for my personal comfort, my dysphoria is not bad. I think I would be more upset if I had something that I wasn't happy with as an end result product. So I'm happy with what I have right now, and if in the future there is something better, perfect. But right now, I know that I would not be happy with what I would end up with. And I think that anybody who has both of those, and either of those surgeries, that's fantastic. And I think if that helps you with your dysphoria, then you should go for it, 100%. And if it's up there for you, then don't ever let anybody tell you otherwise. You do what you want to do, whether it's T, whether it's any surgery, whether it's anything to do with your life, even if it's not transition related. Never let anybody else tell you what you should do. The reason why I suggest not seeing a therapist and why I dislike proving my transliness is because I shouldn't have to. Because 99.9% of the time, we are going to go to doctors that have pretty much this much knowledge of what trans is. And us being trans, to me, I find it very upsetting and also very rude that a cisgendered person who does not really know anything about transgendered people is trying to ask me to prove to them that I am trans. I don't understand how a cis person can be the person to give me validation that I am transgender. I don't see that possible at all. It'd be like if a cis person says, oh, no, I'm transgendered, but I was like, no, you're cis. I don't know because I'm not cis. I've never, like, I'm sorry if people think that's rude of me to say or something, but at the end of the day, it's rude of you to sit there and ask me to prove why I'm trans. If I am coming to you and I am ready to start hormones and I am ready for surgery and I am willing to sign a consent paperwork that says that I am aware of everything that is going to go on and I'm 100% okay with it, and then I can't come back at you. So I understand why people might want you to go see like a therapist, and I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm just saying don't ever let anybody make you prove your transliness, because whatever you are happy with, whether you go on hormones, whether you get top surgery, whether you get bottom surgery, whether you cut your hair short, whatever you decide to do, that's up to you. So if you want surgery, and there are doctors that will not let you have surgery unless you are on T, that is not the doctor for you then. Because you should not ever be forced into anything that you don't want to do. So if you want to have surgery but you don't want to go on T, you should be allowed to. If you want to go on T but never have surgery, you should be allowed to. Anything that you decide to do regarding yourself should be your choice. And I just want everybody to remember that. I'm going to quickly discuss dysphoria, and then I'm going to wrap up this video. But for me, dysphoria was more chest-based. I did get dysphoric looking in the mirror because I didn't see who I wanted to see. I hated mirrors. I could not. I could look at pictures, but I wouldn't so much pay attention to myself. I would pay attention to the other people in the pictures. I'm not ashamed of growing up female. I'm not ashamed that I was female. But at the end of the day, my parents raised me so that I dressed like a boy. In high school, my parents offered me $1,000 to throw out all my boy clothes and only go shopping for girls' clothes, but I was not allowed to keep any of my boys' clothes. I turned down the $1,000 because I was happy enough, just the way I was. And my parents let me play in the mud. I grew up on a farm, so I drove a tractor and took care of farm animals. I played with my cousin when I came into the city. We played street hockey. We did this, and that. Like, the only time I ever really did anything girly is if I was playing with my little sister, one of my little cousins who wanted to play Barbies. But other than that, I wasn't a very girly person to begin with. When I came out to my parents, they said, "We're not surprised." So for me, that was amazing. But as far as my dysphoria goes, it's more or less within myself and not caused by other people, which I find amazing because a lot of people get dysphoric based on other people. So if you do have dysphoria, just try to put yourself in the mindset of, my time is coming. It takes time for everybody. We can't all go at once. There aren't enough people to help us. And it really does, it sucks to wait, but get yourself a proper binder, even if you can only afford one. Please do not tape. Please do not use ace bandages. It's so bad for you. It could mess up your chest so bad, and then when you go to get surgery, it's, even though we still have scars, it's, we're like, this is what I wanted anyways. I would rather have scars than breasts. So if you tape yourself, just be aware that that will rip off layers of your skin, and when you go to get top surgery, it could affect the way that it looks. So please keep that in mind. I don't have much bottom dysphoria. I pack sometimes, but not all the time. It's like maybe 33% of the time, if that. So I don't find it to be a necessity because I don't, at this point, have any bottom dysphoria. My dysphoria was my chest and my feminine looking face. That was my problem. So at the end of the day, I think the best thing that you can do is just to keep reminding yourself, like, maybe I'm not on T yet, but if you're on a waiting list, you're on a waiting list at least. Or if you're calling the doctor, every time that you think about something that you don't have yet, think about what you're doing to get it. Think about the fact that if you have an appointment, or if you are gonna call, like you're calling the doctor's office now, or you're even researching, you're on your way there. There are so many steps that we all have to take to where we want to be, and some people's are longer, some people's are shorter, some people's it's the same. You never know. But at the same point, we all go through it, so we all know how you feel, and it does suck. But just remember where you started from and the steps that you've been taking, because if you are progressively moving forward and finding ways to help yourself, or finding outlets that allow you to help yourself, or they help you, then I really can't see there being too much of a problem, besides dealing with your emotional side of it. And again, that's something that is personal to everybody. If music calms you down, if just writing down what you're feeling makes you feel better, or talking to somebody, there are lots of ways that you can really deal with your dysphoria, and it is really hard, so I'm not trying to make it sound easy, but just try your best. I'm going to leave these right here. This is what I'm going to do, and I'm not going to answer any more questions. I'm already at a 25-minute video, so I'm going to cut this, and I will post, I do have another side to the sheet, so I'll make another video with those questions, probably at the beginning of this coming week. So I hope everybody has a great weekend. I hope that I helped in any way. If you have any questions, comment below. I'll answer. If I wasn't specific enough, ask me, and depending on what you're asking, I probably will answer you. So yeah, have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.